Sir?
Oh, I'm good. How you doing?
What's your name, man?
David Bookhardt.
And what's your connection to horse racing, man? Where you from?
I'm from South Carolina. I come here on March 70 with Lucia Lawrence, Roger Lawrence, and well, I used to work for a guy called Conway, Old Timer.
And you know, what was racing like back then, man, in them days?
Oh man, it was the best. All the guys from the South hanging out together, go from barn to barn, competitive against each other, and have horses in the same race and talking about who could do what. And man, somehow I always come out and beat them. I don't know why, but I always did. Yeah. But like one time,
some of the grooves that you raced against?
Shorty Shred, and
Junior Boy,
Pop, Sam from Darby Dan. He had a horse called True Night. He was going to the Derby that year. I worked for Conway. I had a horse called 𝐷𝐿. So, you know, they were made and all of them running that aqueduct, you know, to break the maiden to go into the big one. So that day they thought, you know, that I was the, you know, the rookie in the bus that I couldn't beat them. But, you know, 𝐷𝐿, we all went over to the grandstand, put him in the gate, and the gates are bound. The man said, 𝐷𝐿. And that was the end of the race. He run 3/4 mile in 8. The rest of them stumbling down the field back there. You see the Derby that horse, man? We got the van, he bust my eye open right there. He was our big, he was 𝐷𝐿, Delta Judge. Yes, he was. He could run. Then after that, we went down Philadelphia Park, State. All the guys down there talking about, they had some horse there. Oh, you ain't gonna beat this. I went down there running 3/4 mile in 8. Set a track record on him. Track record. The closest he got with the starting gate. Yes, he was. He was a runner.
He was a runner, huh?
Then I leave and I went to work for Roger Lawrence. Them same guys that he was talking about, Shorty Sweat and all of them. He been there for years. Joe Brown, Junior Ward, all of them been there. I came there, so all the 2-year-olds come off the farm. So they had one come there called Sue Bay. And Roger Lawrence had 2 barns. The main barn was the barn where all the guys been there for years. He was over there. So this filly came in, so Roger Lawrence said, give it a day. But the system trained that barn, he loved the Junior Ward and Joe Brown. He wanted to keep her over there. So Roger went over there and took out the stars and said, no, this one for Dave. And he had 2 more of them. Them fillies, he gave one to Joe Brown, one to Junior Ward. And every time he put them in a race,
there was entries.
Always an entry.
1A,
and
1A, and 1A.
And you know who come out on top? Every time, 4 straight, Sue Bay, me. Oh man, they was hot, they was mad. Hey, what can you say? When you got the best, you can deal with the best, you know? Them guys, you know, they were my homeboy now, we all were together. Matter of fact, me and Junior Ward, we were cousins. Yeah, we were cousins.
And you know, right, what's like some of, what make you love horses so much, man? 'Cause I hear you talk about it, man, so much passion.
I grew up on a farm down south with horses, and I just had love the horses. You know, it was nice on the farm. I was young, everybody, he took all the old guys off that farm and bring them up to Boston. I was still on that farm down there. Oh, some of them myself working in the field, turning out the brood mares, and you know, and I got so that I loved them. I said, well, I guess this could be me. And I hang on in there, and if you had a Hall of Fame for groom, I would be in there. I know I would. I've been a lot of races. Then I went to Pat Kelly.
2 of your other horses over there that was memorable. One was Laserlight, which
yes.
won grade 1, the Remsen in 1981.
And
you run second to
Gala del Sol
in the Derby, but in the lower futurity and the Young American, you run behind. You went on to run second in the Derby with that horse, Laserlight. And he was a nice horse.
He got beat
hurt
down there.
Yeah. And then we came back and you had Medieval Moon.
Oh, she was another freak.
Really fast horse. Run 3/4 in 8 anytime she wanted. Set track records at
she was competitive.
Atlantic City and a few other tracks. And she also was very famous for going wide and running into the grandstand fence almost, and still winning the race on several occasions.
She wasn't bad.
Yeah, she was a really nice horse. You had some good ones over there with Pat Kelly.
Let me ask you a question, right? What make a good groom, man? Like when you was coming up, right? What qualified a good groom? Like what was that?
The way you run them and take care of them, and the coat and how they look and take care of the legs, and you know, good groom and handle your horses. You know, I had like Sue Babe. She came. She had a paddock, always ran up in the paddock, right? And she ran up, and I didn't shank her. The average groom looses right along. Said, you know, the average groom would have shanked her, and she'd have flipped over and hurt herself. She said, but you know how to handle your horse. Yeah, because you know if you snatch her, she on 2 feet, she could fall over. Yeah. So he said, you very good. Then we went to Saratoga. Then I had a horse come from England called 𝐈𝐍𝐒𝐈𝐃𝐄. You know, they sat him, and he ran backwards. And I didn't turn him loose, right? You know what the paddock judge said? He said, any other groom, that horse would have got away. He said, but you the horse, right along, come back. He said, David, that guy love you, man. He said, you know how to handle horses. I said, yeah, you know what the hell, you can't turn loose, just go back to the hand of the chain. I had some great time with horses.
It was in you, right? What you remember about guys like Roger Lauren, man, Lucian Lauren?
They were great guys.
Sue Babe, to mention, she went on to be a Broodmare of the Year, I think, once or twice. So she had a good career as a mommy also, you know. And actually a few years ago, it was just something that was very ironic to me. One of Secretariat's last living sons, he was bred to Sue Babe, and it was a horse out in West Virginia somewhere on an equine farm or something like that. But it was by Secretariat out of Sue Babe, and it was very funny that, you know, I seen that. And the horse was like 20-something years old, maybe 30 or whatever, but at the time when I seen it. But it was good memories that took me back when you talked about those entries. I remember she was always 1X.
Yep.
And that's what made me go to the races some years later, and seeing the horse called Match the Hatch was a 1X, and a relationship was born that day between me and his groom. God bless him after. But Match the Hatch, when I was a kid, I remember was 1X because she was 1X too. Yep. Great moments though in horse racing.